Hello everyone, how are you all? Having fun? Today's class you will learn about administration under GST. Who administers GST? Central government as well as state government. These people are administering the GST and they are also collecting its revenue. The revenue is simultaneous. Half goes to the central government, half goes to the state government, and both of them together are administering it. For example, you also know that in the output tax, a deduction for the input tax will be provided to you. Right, you are entitled to claim input tax credit. The meaning of input tax credit claim is that the GST you collect on your sales. From that you can deduct the GST that you have paid on your purchase. And the balance tax has to be paid to the government. But you are also aware that GST is having three components, majorly three components. Otherwise, there is a GST compensation cess. There are three components to GST, CGST, SGST and IGST. Okay? SGST/UTGST, which is called SGST in the state, is called UTGST in the union territory. So CGST, SGST and IGST, these are the three taxes. So from which tax on the sale will the deduction be made? So that means from the IGST we collected on the sale, we will deduct the purchases. Will all three taxes be deducted, or will one be deducted, or will two be deducted? How does this adjustment happen? How do we utilize our purchase GST from the sale GST? Okay, students? Right, so this is also something you'll learn today. Let's start. The two components of GST, CGST and SGST shall be administered by the center and state simultaneously. CGST on intrastate supplies shall be levied and collected by the center, and SGST on such intrastate supplies shall be levied and collected by state. The power to levy, collect and administer IGST shall rest with the center. Look, you have to understand like this. GST. The one that is coming intrastate. This is coming on interstate. If it is coming on intrastate, then it will be CGST plus SGST. Okay. So who is looking after and taking care of its administration? Administered by central government and state government. In interstate, IGST administered by central government. Did you note this? Okay. Does it ever happen like whenever I start writing something, you start wondering that what I'm writing? If I write something good, you will note it down. And if we write without any meaning, you will not. If you are thinking that way, then definitely don't think like that. Whenever I start writing something, you also start without thinking or understanding. Okay, if you happen to write something irrelevant, what harm will it do? If you write one or two extra lines in your copy. Right. That won't happen that I will write something irrelevant. But even if it happens, we say, let's just take the risk, right? If you write one or two extra lines in your copy, what harm will it do? So whenever I start writing anything, you also keep noting those things. Okay, these things are very helpful when you do a revision of them, especially during exam time. Input tax credit of CGST shall be used for payment of CGST and IGST. The input tax credit, which is the CGST of purchases, this deduction will be from where the CGST of the purchase will be deducted. We receive the credit of purchase related CGST. So from where will it be deducted? It will be deducted from CGST or IGST. It will be deducted either from CGST or from IGST. That means the CGST credit will not be deducted from SGST. While if you have SGST credit, which means you have paid SGST on purchases. So where will it be deducted from? While SGST credit shall be used for payment of output liability of SGST and IGST. SGST can be deducted from your SGST and IGST both. SGST can't be used for payment of CGST and vice versa. SGST cannot be adjusted from CGST. and vice versa. For example, you can't pay CGST from SGST and also cannot pay SGST from CGST. Input tax credit of IGST shall be used for payment of IGST, CGST, SGST. If you have IGST credit, okay, so if you paid IGST on the purchase, then you can. Here you can pay IGST, CGST, SGST all, so whatever you wish you can pay that. Okay. Credit of this chart I'll explain you now. Credit of input tax from output IGST shall be as under. Credit of input tax from output IGST. You have your outputs IGST. Okay, so you have input taxes too. Let's say you have CGST, you have IGST, you have SGST, everything is there. How will deduct? It is the outputs IGST by adjusting the input IGST first, okay? Okay, then adjust the input CGST and then the inputs. Adjust the SGST. For example, when I say SGST, if it's for a union territory, it will be UTGST. So we don't need to say oblique repeatedly. The entire ITC of IGST should be fully utilized before utilizing the ITC of CGST or SGST. If in input tax you have all the three forms, that is IGST, CGST and SGST, so the ITC of IGST should be fully utilized first, only then will you touch or utilize CGST or SGST. I know you have been told so much that it probably isn't settling in your mind. Don't worry, it will settle when you do practical examples. Okay. ITC of IGST to be fully utilized to pay IGST first, then CGST or SGST in any order or proportion. If you are having ITC of IGST with you, okay, so it's ITC of IGST, then from that you will. First will pay IGST, then CGST or SGST. Just pay in the way it is needed. Feeling confused, right? Let me explain this with an example. Example 1. Write this down. ITC credit. We're learning about input tax credit. The question is, let's assume our output tax is. In the output tax, I have IGST of 50,000 rupees. Meaning on sale IGST levied is 50,000 rupees. Right. Okay, when do we have to do these adjustments? Basically, some people have to file monthly returns and some have to file it quarterly. So this entire output and input tax will be either for 1 quarter or for 1 month, depending on who you are and when you have to settle and pay for all of this. Okay, so the output tax for IGST is 50,000 rupees and you have input tax. You have input tax IGST. CGST and SGST, did you understand the meaning of this? The output tax is only IGST, means we have sold the goods outside the state in this period. This would be either complete data of 1 month, whatever we are giving, or data for 1 quarter. Some people settle quarterly because they have to file quarterly returns and some have to file monthly returns, so they settle it monthly. Okay. I saw that on my output there is only IGST. The output tax is only IGST, which means where are we selling all the goods? We sell outside the state. And when I checked my input tax, it was IGST, which means that I paid IGST on my purchases along with CGST and SGST. This means what kind of purchase do we make? We make purchases intrastate, within the state and outside the state, that is interstate also. Is this clear to everyone? My sale is only and only interstate supply because see, my output tax has only IGST. While my purchase tax is IGST, CGST and SGST, that means I am buying intrastate as well as interstate. Now, how to adjust this? I have IGST. Let's do one thing. We'll take CGST as 2,000 and SGST as 20,000. It will be fun. Okay. Now let's read a law about how to adjust. If the output is IGST, so how do we adjust this? See what was written. Credit of input tax from output IGST. If we need to exhaust or adjust the output IGST, we have a tax on an output of 50,000 rupees. We will deduct the input tax and pay the balance. But which input tax will be deducted? We know that from IGST all three are deducted. Don't worry, definitely all three gets deducted: IGST, CGST, SGST. Right. So now the question is that these three will be deducted, but in what order will they be deducted? In what order will it be deducted? So it says it shall be as under. First, deduct IGST. Then deduct CGST and then SGST. Did you pay attention? We need to deduct all the three in order. First, we will deduct IGST. If our output is IGST, so first, what will we deduct from the input? IGST, then CGST and then SGST. We need to deduct all three in this given order. Otherwise, I had IGST of 30,000 rupees. If all the three are deducted, then 30,000 deducted here, and deducting this 20,000, we would have exhausted this 50,000. But if you do that, it will be wrong, because after IGST, you will have to adjust CGST only. And then you have to adjust SGST. Right. So let's see how we make this chart. We write the output tax here. Okay, in the output tax, whatever taxes are there, like IGST, CGST. SGST is not included in mine, but I'm still making it so that you will create the same chart every time. And on this side, we write the input tax. And when we write the input tax on this side, what do we write? Okay, first fill the output tax. The output tax has IGST of only 50,000 rupees. These are all nil. There's nothing, okay? Now we will draw a straight line here, and on this side we write the input tax. IGST of input tax, CGST, and SGST. How much amount is in this inner column? 30,000, 2,000, 20,000. Just try to memorize this in mind, that we will create the chart in the same way. Then entire law will form a clear picture in your mind. This is deducted from here and that from there. I don't remember which goes from where. And when it gets deducted. Okay. So see, in the order in which these taxes are written here, these taxes will be finished in the same order. Just keep this in mind. Okay. We need to finish the IGST first. Finish it from here. 30,000 rupees gone. Then this CGST comes in second place. So this will be finished first. Right? So we will write 2,000 rupees here. Now how much is left? 32,000 rupees done. 18,000 rupees more needed. So we will deduct 18,000 SGST from here. Right. Now see, here this liability has become nil. We have to make this nil everywhere. Both of these CGST and SGST was already nil. This, our output tax, has also become nil. This is finished. Now what is left with me? Out of SGST of 20,000 rupees, 18,000 is used and 2,000 is left. So we'll write ITC. Carry forward. This contains only what? SGST. 2,000. Did everyone understand? So keep this chart in your mind properly. If you have made this chart, then we will settle this picture in our mind, that it decreases in this order. First we'll finish this one, then this and this. Just make a chart here. Second. Let's do the second question. Now, in this question, what I want to teach you is that all the three are your output taxes. All three are output tax. IGST, CGST, SGST is there. So, where are we selling the goods? Will someone tell us where are we selling these goods? We are selling within the state. That's why we must have applied CGST and SGST. And we have also applied IGST, which means we are selling goods outside the state as well. Okay. If you talk about input tax, then in this input tax, there is one and only IGST. This means where are the goods bought from? They are bought from outside. We will not do anything. You simply make a chart like I have taught you. Okay, you write output tax. Inside the output tax, I explained that you write the names of three taxes, IGST, CGST, and SGST. Whatever the amount is, fill it below like 20,000. 10,000. 10,000. Okay. On this side, you will have the input tax. Okay. And inside input tax, now write IGST. In front of its amount 25,000. Now there's nothing else. Look, this chart is done. Can you make a chart like this? Can you arrange the input tax and output tax? If you do it, then there will never be any mistake. I guarantee you that. Okay, here I had mentioned that in this order it will be finished. That means the items written at the top will be finished first. So there's nothing down. We have to finish this only. Now from where will this 25,000 be adjusted? Firstly, the IGST gets adjusted from all three. You know this. And all three taxes, meaning from IGST, all these are adjusted. CGST gets adjusted from CGST and IGST, and SGST from SGST and IGST. But from IGST, all are adjusted. So with 25,000 rupees, what we'll do? We pay 20,000 rupees IGST. Now how much is left? 5,000 rupees. Now how much is left? 5,000 rupees. Where to adjust this? First, from the CGST? No. It was not saying this. Let me show what it was saying. It was saying here that if you are having ITC of IGST, so with this, you will first pay IGST. You will first pay IGST. I had ITC of my IGST, so we will pay IGST before this. Then CGST and SGST in any order or proportion. Whatever you want to do with CGST and SGST in any order, in any proportion. Means one can be done first and one can be done later. You want to do it in any ratio, you can adjust in any way. You might say, sir, what are you saying? We are not able to understand. You just told to do it in any ratio. But above you were saying that there is a specific order regarding this. First CGST, no sorry. First IGST, then CGST, then SGST. Peace. Wherever we are taking the input tax credit, when it is being adjusted, then it is first IGST, then CGST, then SGST. When we were adjusting IGST from here, so first you had to adjust it in IGST. Listen to this example carefully. I'm changing the same question. Let's say instead of input tax being 30,000 rupees here, it would have been 35,000 rupees. Here instead of 30,000, it would have been 35,000 rupees. Okay. So first we finish 30,000 rupees from here. Then the balance, 5,000 rupees that is left can be adjusted wherever we want. 3,000 will be here, 2,000 will be there, or complete 5,000 can be here and here nothing. We wouldn't have done anything here and could adjust 5,000 here. This was happening. So when you go down, you cannot skip okay. You have to first write IGST, then you have to bring CGST. You have to bring SGST. It's not that you write IGST here 30,000 and write SGST as 20,000. This 20,000 could not be brought here. Now, do you understand when you go down? You have to go step by step. Settle this in your mind. When we make a chart, we will go down the stairs, okay? We won't jump or leap down. We will go down step by step. Just keep this in mind. When you are going forward, okay? Understand like this. Oh my God, how sir is explaining it. Exactly the same should be settled in mind. When we'll walk downwards, we will take the stairs. If you are moving forward, then you can walk in whatever way you like. Will you all remember? When we will move downwards, then we will go down step by step. Otherwise, you'll stumble and fall. Sir had told when you go down, go step by step or you'll stumble and fall. If you are walking forward, just jump a little. What's the problem? Okay, yes, now it will be remembered. When we will walk forward, we will jump and bounce. But first is IGST. When first meaning when you are walking forward also, right? Take the first step correctly. Then after that, you jump and bounce all you want. Okay, so what can we do? When 5,000 is left, we will take 2,500 from here and 2,500 from here. You will have to pay CGST 7,500. And you will also have to pay 7,500 as SGST. It's not necessary to do this. Or we are suggesting alternatives. It's adjustments alternative. 20,000 should be taken from here. We'll take 5,000 from here. From here, nothing. Or take 20,000 from here. Nothing from here and 5,000 from here. And anything can happen, right? 20,000 will be taken from here, 1,000 from here, and 4,000 will be taken from here. And take whatever you want. I'm saying, why are you getting upset, guys? Take 3,000 from here, take 2,000 from here. Take whatever you like. These things are not remembered. Which credit, from where it will go, or what will go? I keep explaining to the students, but they just don't pay attention. They don't understand what is said about the output tax for IGST and what for the input tax. I say don't remember this much. If you know how to make a chart, then make a chart. You will move downwards. Then you have to go down step by step or you'll stumble and fall. And when you walk forward while walking forward, then what will happen? Like this, we say this walking forward. When we are going from here, right? This is called walking forward. This is moving forward. While walking forward, jump and skip. Okay? One more question for you. Now you tried, then it will be fun. What will be the fun if I do it? And I have explained it in the best possible way. There is so much confusion, students make mistakes with it. Okay. In short, the law is, So if you have to pay outputs IGST, to pay the IGST for output, you need to adjust it first from IGST, then from CGST, then from SGST. Okay. If you have input IGST, so first you'll pay output IGST, then CGST and SGST. Whatever you want, you can pay. Maybe it's still not clear in your mind when I'm saying these lines. But when I'm just presenting it through a chart, then I am quite certain that it has completely settled in your mind. That's why I made this chart, and I have programmed this chart so that the student's mind can grasp the program. Okay? Remember this chart. Law can't be remembered. Okay. The output tax and the input tax, that is, I will tell you all three are there. IGSTs, CGSTs, SGSTs, you should create your own chart for that. 50,000 rupees is this. 20,000 rupees and 20,000 rupees. Okay. Input tax IGST, CGST, SGST. So 60,000. 25,000. 25,000. Okay, let's do it. I will give you 2 minutes. First you will do it, and in case you have got the right answer, you'll just write it in the comment box. Okay, and do not see my solution unless you have done it on your own. Okay, your time starts now. Okay, I hope you have done it. If not, pause the video and keep doing it until it is done. Look at this. First, we'll write down our total output tax here. How do we write, students? We write IGST. We'll write 50,000 in this. Then we will write CGST in this 20,000. Then SGST. Write 20,000 here. This is the way, right? Then we draw a line from here and divide it like this. And here we write input tax. Now inside the input tax we write three taxes: IGST, CGST, SGST. If you can create chart, students, then your work's done. Don't worry about it. Now tell me fast, how do you go down? How do you go down? Do it step by step. Don't be naughty here. Do it in order. First finish IGST, then CGST, then SGST. Okay? And when you go forward, then you can jump and bounce all you want. If you walk forward, then do it as you like. You can keep jumping. But take first step carefully. Okay, when you move forward, take first step carefully. From 60,000, we will first adjust 50,000 here itself. It's finished. IGST is completely finished. No need to pay. Now we have 10,000 rupees left. Now guys, how do we adjust 10,000? From wherever you want, adjust it from wherever you want to adjust it. Okay, so what do we do? Tell me. We will adjust equally. Both liability look equal. We will just adjust them equally. What is there to worry? Adjust them equal, my friend. Okay, we will take 5,000 from here and 5,000 from here. Okay, you might say, sir, if we adjust different amount, will it be wrong? No, it won't be wrong. It's correct. No need to worry. Now CGST is 25,000. So from where does CGST? This CGST gets adjusted. Tell me, from where will this be adjusted? Student, this will be adjusted from IGST and CGST. Okay. First CGST and then IGST. Okay. CGST will be adjusted first from CGST, then adjusted from IGST. How's SGST adjusted? First from SGST, then IGST. Actually, every tax first finishes its own tax. Keep this in your mind. When we adjusted IGST, I said take first step carefully. It's not about taking first step. First we'll finish our own tax. Any ITC will first finish its own. When we bring in CGST, we know from where we can adjust it. Now see, we can adjust the CGST from here and here. And from where can we adjust the SGST? Number 1 will be from here, number 2 from here. From where will SGST be adjusted? Number 1 from here, number 2 from here. But see, number 2 is not required. IGST is completely finished. All we have to do is adjust CGST from CGST. How much? 15,000 rupees. Why 15? See, you had liability of 20,000, 5,000 is gone. We need 15,000 to finish liability, 10,000 is left. What to do? Should we pay SGST? No way. SGST is not paid by CGST. CGST and SGST are not adjusted with each other. Okay. So this all will not happen here. From where will SGST be adjusted? From SGST itself, and we don't need in IGST. So we'll adjust 15,000 here, finished. Output tax payable is nil. We don't have to pay any tax this month. Okay, how much is my carry forward? 10 and 10,000 is my carry forward. Credit, ITC, carry forward, ITC carry forward, CGST. And SGST, 10,000, 10,000. I feel like we have to do one more example. Okay, are you gaining any expertise in this? You're studying basic concepts, student. ITC is a long chapter. Okay, when we'll study ITC, then we will do actual questions. Okay, then we will master it. Right now, it's just a light basic overview that I am explaining you. Just get the idea, guys, on how to adjust. Okay, now when we come to chapter ITC adjustment, we'll come to know that ITC is not same. Okay, capital goods have different ITC method. Are you getting me? So if you have a credit on an input, then for that, there's different method, guys. My output services or output goods. How are they or what are they? There are a lot of things, many things. In general, at base level, this is the way to do the adjustments. Let's create another example, example 4 for you. Okay. See the question first. Now tell me, have I framed the question incorrectly? Is it correct? Any figure can be anything. First, you have to judge the question. Like, sir, can't just make anything. Question should be accurate. Practically, question should be perfect. You can't just write down any figure and do calculations. Is this possible? Let's see. Output tax is 50,000 rupees. CGST and SGST are 20,000 rupees, meaning the tax I collected on the sales. I collected 20,000 CGST and 20,000 SGST. Input tax. The input tax. IGST is 60,000. Let's assume they collected 60,000 rupees IGST by selling interstate. But CGST and SGST are always levied equally, right? Tell me one thing, when we sell goods, CGST will be equal to SGST, meaning these two will always be equal on output tax. The CGST applied on sale would be same as SGST. Is it that for purchases also the CGST charged would be as same as the SGST? Yes, sir, that's right. CGST charged would be equal to SGST if the purchase is within the state. So during a particular month, sir, how can this be different? I have a doubt the question seems wrong. Yes. It's correct. It's totally correct. I made this question. So there can't be any mistakes. So sir, what's the story? Explain how is it correct? You are saying it should be equal and saying the question is also correct? Yes. Students, try to understand this. If in this month you paid 10,000 rupees as CGST on the purchase, so the SGST is also guaranteed to be paid only 10,000. See, I am saying this. It's guaranteed that 10,000 was paid. Student, it is possible that previous year's ITC, the previous month's ITC, is carried forward and SGST came as 15,000. So your credit is showing 25,000. Does carry forward happen? In every question you are doing carry forward. See, this question had carry forward CGST 10,000, SGST 10,000, so 10,000 got carried forward, right? So next year CGST and SGST will increase by 10,000. Yes, they will increase. In this question, credit was equal. Could it also have a higher or lower credit? Yes, it could have. What if you adjusted the IGST more than the CGST? Let's say that happened. Take a look at this. Couldn't we have done that? We would have adjusted remaining 50,000 from CGST here and adjusted 10,000 here, suppose. Here, would have adjusted 10,000. Okay. And here, if we had not adjusted 10,000, then it wouldn't have adjusted here. Here, what would we do? We'd adjust 10,000 from CGST from 25,000, and here how much would we adjust? Would adjust 20,000 rupees. Then how much of this carried forward CGST would be left? 10,000 CGST is adjusted from 25,000, leaving 15,000 rupees. And this 20,000 would be adjusted from 25,000, leaving 5,000 rupees. Now this gets carried forward to next month. It would get added to next month's input tax credit. So one would be added 15,000, one would be 5,000. Now tell me if figure would change or not like here. It would. See, I am not wrong here. Okay, so the input tax credit for a particular month, that means GST you're paying on purchase, that CGST and SGST will always be equal. But students, when you are making the adjustment, then the total credit you have for a particular month, it's not necessary to be equal. Why? Because it might be that previous month's credit was carried forward. So that's why this figure changes. Okay, students. So see, this figure can be different, meaning CGST and SGST of output tax do not have to be equal. It is my guarantee that this will be equal. If this is different, then the question is wrong. This will not be different. Why? Because on your sale, CGST and SGST you'll collect equal in a particular month. But previous month's liability of previous month is not carried forward. If any output tax is left from previous month, you must have paid it, right? Output tax is nil, so the work is finished. Otherwise, we would have paid and finished it. We would have paid it in cash and finished it. You have to pay the balance, right? Output tax from previous month is nothing. Input tax is carried forward and the output tax is to be paid. So the output tax will always be for the current period only. Therefore, that will always be equal. Input tax can be different. You shared a very important point, sir. Moving on. Now let's do this question. This will need your brain power. Okay? And if you've managed to apply, then you are a genius. If any student correctly answers this question, I can guarantee that they will definitely pass. I just know. And I can definitely tell you how sharp someone's mind is and what they can achieve in their life. If your mind is stuck on this question, if you solve this question with that much understanding as much as I have taught, I guarantee it, you have my words. If you solve this question, then you'll pass. I am giving guarantee. Even if you get it wrong, you'll still pass because you will learn. Right, but if you do this yourself, I will guarantee and I'll write it that you'll pass. Provided you haven't studied GST before, not from anyone else, you are learning from me for first time, you've done only my classes, and you still do this question, then definitely you're different and a smart guy. You have common sense. In this world, everything can be won by common sense. Okay, studying is not as useful as common sense. Okay, let's do it. You will first write down the answer. After that, you will see my solution. So till then, pause this video until you get the answer. Okay, you also need to check it yourself that if you are capable enough to pass or not, quickly do it. Let's solve this. You might be thinking that what is so special, sir? Why did you say it like that? It's special, students. This question is based on common sense. It's not based on law. I did not make GST based on law. This is made to check your common sense and to check your mind. This question is not in any book. I created this question to check you. Just look input tax. IGST 60,000. CGST, SGST 10,000, 25,000. Okay. IGST will be adjusted by IGST first. We are doing it this way. What is our way? First we'll finish from here and then we'll move down like this, one by one. Okay. This is 60,000. From it, 50,000 will be gone first. IGST has to be finished with IGST. Now 10,000 is left. From where should we adjust this 10,000? You can adjust it from anywhere. CGST, SGST, we know. Generally, we have adjusted equally. From where should we adjust it? From where to adjust? Tell me, guys. You might say just adjust equally. You did it equally before. You adjusted equally here. Adjusted 5,000 each. Do like that. We won't do it. We can do it in any way as I want. We'll adjust 10,000 from here. But why, sir? Why? Wait, you will come to know why. I finished this 10,000 and 60,000 is finished. Now it's time for CGST. From where will CGST be adjusted? First CGST is 10,000, so 10,000 will go here. It's done. This is also exhausted. IGST finished. CGST finished. See this SGST. Okay. From where to adjust? We will adjust SGST against SGST, and 20,000 got adjusted from here. Okay, 5,000 SGST is left. All three are nil, 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 nil. And my ITC is being carried forward. SGST. How much? 5,000? Tell me if you are able to understand this or not. Now, I will accept your point. Sir, why are you doing this, sir? You are completely confusing us, sir. See here. We would have adjusted 5,000 here. And we would have adjusted 5,000 here at your request. Yes, sir. Just do it like this. Adjust half and half. So 10,000 CGST would have been adjusted from here. Okay. And then SGST 5,000 was already adjusted here. So here how much would we need? 15,000. What is the answer? This is nil. Nothing changes here. 15,000 would have been deducted from 20,000, leaving 5,000. And this? And this is also nil for us. So now if we had done 5,000 each here, then my output tax, the output tax that we had to pay, that means the tax that would have been payable, CGST 5,000, and in this case ITC to be carried forward would be SGSTs. How much? Out of 25,000, 15,000 were used, rest is finished. CGST 10,000 is fully exhausted, and these 60,000, 50 and 5 is completely finished. SGST that is left with me is of 10,000 rupees. Tell me one thing. What does your mind say? That we carry forward 5,000 rupees of SGST and don't pay anything, or first we pay 5,000 CGST and then carry forward SGST of 10,000? What foolishness is this? We already have taxes to carry forward and yet you are paying taxes. Why should we pay tax, guys? 5,000 rupees without paying tax. If I say that if it will work without paying tax, then will you pay tax? What wisdom is this? We are not supposed to pay tax, but you have done such a calculation that we will have to pay tax. So don't do this. This is all wrong. Sir, the law says to do it. I mean, if the law says to hang yourself, then will you hang yourself? Please try to understand what I am saying. This paper about taxes, it is not just a paper. It is a client, the exam paper that's placed in front of you. That is the client. He is saying, I will give money, do my work properly. Tell me this client came to you and to me. I said that you don't have to give any tax. 5,000 rupees will be carried forward. When he went to you for work, you said deposit 5,000 rupees tax, 10,000 would be carried forward. The day he realizes, say after taking consultancy from you, he takes it from me, client will never work with you again. See, what is the meaning of tax? Whatever law says, do the best you can, do the best planning. Okay, give the client the best benefit, then you are a successful professional. The GST paper doesn't want to know if you know how to apply the law or not. It wants to know whether you can apply the law to its fullest or not. Oh my God. Sir, that means we don't need to study the law itself. We should be able to handle all the tactics of the law immediately. Yes. Only that will be regarded as big lawyer, or everyone is a lawyer after studying law. Who's the big lawyer? The one who understands every single nerve of law. He knows when to hit which nerve. Here the law was telling us that we can adjust the IGST any way we want. Well, we will use our brains, right? Law is saying you can adjust it however you want. We'll adjust it in a way that benefits us. As soon as we credited 10,000 rupees here, we didn't have to pay any tax. Did we do anything wrong? No. Law is saying to do it. Now do you understand? Here I applied my mind. Guys, you see here CGST's credit is low. Okay. SGST's credit is abundant. I thought I don't want to go down, but I am looking at the next step. Tell me one thing, when you go down the stairs, you go step by step, but you can see the stairs below. You ain't blind, you can see the stairs, right? So we know which step comes next. We can see that, but we are not going down. Look carefully. But we know what the next step is. According to the next stair, we will take step. When we know that the next step is lower and deeper, it's bumpy, so we'll keep our feet like that, right? That's what I'm explaining. I'm not saying that you should come down right away. You should jump 2 steps. I didn't say that. I said that you know how the next step is, so put your feet accordingly, right? We saw that. CGST's credit is quite low. There's a lot of credit in SGST. Why should we adjust the IGST against SGST? We should use it all here in the CGST. Then we will not have to pay tax of CGST. We thought we can adjust 10,000 rupees from here, and let's adjust another 10,000 from here. Work will be done and we won't have to pay CGST. There is no issue with SGST. There is 20,000 rupees tax and 25,000 rupees credit, so we will not have to pay that too. Saw my cleverness? Okay. So this is how it's done. By making you do this example, did I make you perfect in calculation? Or an expert? Answer is no. Because ITC is a different chapter where you learn all these things. Today the purpose of explaining this was to make you aware that while studying tax, it's not about only learning the application of the law. We cannot simply pass tax just because we know about the law. If we know the best application of the law, and if we apply the application of the law smartly, only then we will win this battle, this examination paper. Right? Let's end today's class. We'll meet in next class and talk about some new things. We'll stop now.